So when a brand comes to you and they say, you have amazing content, you have a really beautiful app, how can we play with you? How can we buy media? On mobile apps in particular,
Okay.
again, I'm not talking about the cross-buy, but what are the opportunities in mobile particularly?
They could be. They really take on so many different forms. So last April, we partnered with CA Technologies and co-created our CNN Politics app. That was the first thing that we ever have done, where we actually started with the mobile concept, and then a lot of the ideas from that app then branched itself out into the linear space and branded content in other areas. But it really is a client-specific initiative, because it's not a one-size-fits-all, because every client is going to be using mobile and it's created very differently. What we do with Warner Studios, with long form or short form with their trailers, is very different than what we would do with a CA Technology or even a Toyota.
Cool. And I wanted to ask about, the TV Upfront's coming. You guys have been very much in the forefront of using data in planning, and tell us a little bit about how the maturity of data and planning is coming along and how that might play in the coming TV Upfronts.
Yeah, for us right now, we've been talking a lot about audiences, and we've always really targeted, right? We've always had Nielsen on adults 18 to 49 or 25-54, so that's still a target. What's now changing is that the targets and the audiences are getting much more focused to the client's needs and objectives. So we are now able to hone in a lot more on who our fan is. Who is that fan watching TBS? Who is that fan? We know kids watch Cartoon Network, but is that mom there, and what does she do, and what's her behavior? So we're now getting a lot more into who our fan base is and the behaviors of our fans, and how we can marry that to our brands and their objectives coming together, and then in the right environment.
Give us some impressions of being here and what your hopes are for the industry.
Yeah, one, we're here because, obviously CNN and Cartoon Network are global brands, right? So we are a global company. But, I really wanted to get here because, and a lot of my colleagues here, because U.S. seems to be, in my mind, a little bit sometimes behind the times in what goes on here, in China and in Europe. They seem to be a couple of steps, in my mind, ahead in the innovation space. So I'm here trying to see, okay, what's in the next horizon in the next 2 or 3 years that then we can kind of bring back and take back, to the U.S. and Turner, and say, okay, what's coming? What do we have to do? How do I have to alter, the organization or our thinking with clients, knowing in the next 2 or 3 years the next iteration of innovation is what? It's X. I think you can find that here.